Hi, I'm with the director of a brand new film that's out called Redemption. Tell us a little bit about the film.
Well, it's based on a true story, a fellow who was convicted for robbing 300 graves in Salt Lake back in the late 1800s. And he was exiled and kicked out onto Antelope Island and then eventually moved to Fremont Island. And it's the story of a sheriff who kind of has to care for him, despite the fact that he has a lot of personal animosity toward this guy as well. And so we think that it's a nice little story about forgiveness and compassion.
Who is that man?
Oh, that's just Jean Baptiste. He makes the graves and tends to things for me.
I think I should not like him to have anything to do with my husband's burial.
I ought to buy you a new dress sometime. I've seen what the women wear to church. You might want to take a look at that one.
Keep using hot water with the cloths.
God, please.
This will be the gown. I'd like to be the one to dress her in it.
She's dead. I shot men. I cut him.
That's all past.
And God put my wrongs on her.
Sometime the water will help.
Hello, Mr. Governor. Think they'll send Porter Rockwell after us?
What do you want?
Ain't just Rockwell I'm worried about. Who then? Heath? That man's timid. I think I scare him a little. He's killed more men down in Texas than you ever cussed. Please don't shoot.
Tell him to stop.
You don't care about me.
You done wrong by my brother. You buried the man with no clothes on. I bought those clothes myself.
You're gonna tell me every grave you robbed. You never robbed a grave.
I'm gonna ask you one more time. Did you rob this grave?
I just cannot understand how you can rob the dead for their clothing.
I'm afraid things are not going to go well for you, Mr. Baptiste.
I wrote this letter for the Baptist. Did you promise me on your heart that he will receive it?
You ain't caring for that ghoul in the lake now, are you?
You want any friends? You'll get that ghoul shot.
Thank you, sir!
You got no reason to try and leave.
Baptiste! It'll go worse for you if you don't show yourself.
I have many reasons to leave, sir, but Jean-Baptiste cannot swim, sir.
Yeah, me neither.
Our precious children, sir, they are alive.
I'm sorry.
You should have told me.
We've all got a history. God help us, we do.
So, Tom, how did you find this, and what inspired you to go to the next level and make a film?
I think we read this first on an internet site. I think that's the first thing that we did, and he was called the Ghoul of the Salt Lake, the Ghoul of the Great Salt Lake, and we noticed in that story that this sheriff, Henry Heath, had purchased a suit for somebody that had been shot during the commission of a crime. So he actually interested me first, and I thought, what kind of a nice guy must have cared enough about somebody who obviously was doing something wrong to buy him a suit. And so that kind of just got us thinking about it and looking into it and figuring out what these people did. We've taken some poetic license, but by and large, it sticks to what happened.
Interesting. So tell us what it's like to film in Utah.
Oh, it's a fantastic place to shoot. We worked extensively with Antelope Island and with the Utah Film Commission, and it's just the crew that we drew. A huge number of students that we drew from the area, actors from the local area. It's just a terrific place to shoot. I mean, the landscape is perfect for westerns. Why people have shot here for a long, long time.
John Ford and beyond and before, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's great. Well, we're here with Tom, the director of Redemption. We're going to see what people have to say about the film, and we're so excited right here in Davis County, Utah, a real-life movie premiere with the director on the red carpet. He's wearing all kinds. Joan Rivers would be proud.
Who am I wearing? Yeah.
That's right. So join us for a fun evening. Come on in, and we're going to enjoy talking to some of the stars and some of the cool things about the film, Redemption. Go out and see it now in theaters right now. now. Great film to see, and one heck of a nice director.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it very much.
Absolutely. And congratulations.
Thank
Good night
you.
to you.
Take care.
Thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here with one of the cast members of this cool movie called Redemption, with Alex. Hi, Alex.
Hey, how's it going?
It's great. It's great to be with you. And this movie is Redemption, a Utah shot film. And you may recognize Alex from Ethan and Alex on KSL.
That's right. I do a radio show on top of the great movie acting that I do.
So tell me what you do in the movie.
I represent the young judge, the character who helps the main character kind of understand that some of us have had a checkered past, and I unfortunately have a run-in with a bad guy. I'm a deputy at that point, and I shoot a guy, and I feel really, really bad about it. He was a bad guy, but still felt bad about it, and it's a tender moment of the movie, so it's not really the usual what I do. I'm kind of the jokester, but it's a tender part of the movie for sure. But it's cool because I got to shoot a gun, and we shot it a bunch, and we were in cold water in the river, but it was a fun deal.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with Marshall. He's with the Utah Film Commission. That means that if anything's shot in Utah, it goes through his office.
Well, we hope so.
Well, absolutely. Some fun things that have happened in Utah. Give us a couple movies that were filmed here, Marshall.
What era? Old? Like you go way back to John Wayne and the Searchers. You could go to
John Wayne was filmed.
You could
here,
go to Forrest Gump. You could jump to The Sandlot in 1993.
Well, no, as I understand it, Sandlot was filmed right down the road. Part of it in Bountiful. Is that right?
Bountiful, Ogden, Salt Lake City. Yeah, up and down the Wasatch Front.
I'm here with Dina Leola, who is the spokesperson for state parks. Is that correct, Dina?
That's correct.
So a lot of this film was filmed right on Antelope Island, a state park. Encourage you to go out and see it, by the way. Tell us a little bit about the filming and what you had to organize.
I was actually not the person that secured all the permits. At the time, Ron Taylor was our park manager out at Antelope Island State Park, and he was very instrumental in making this happen.
I'm talking to a real movie star, Alex.
I would not qualify myself as that. I would say I am a radio personality way before I would say I was a movie star of any sort.
Fair enough. So we're going to treat you like a movie star nonetheless.
Okay, sure.
So do you remember that time that you shot that guy?
Look, you're bringing up dark parts of my life that I don't like talking about.
Well, that was cool.
Yeah, no, the gun was actually very cool. But thanks a lot for bringing up the worst part of my life.
People need to know how cool Utah is because a lot of filmmakers want to come here and shoot some stuff. Is that correct?
Yeah, and there's a lot of reasons for that, too. I mean, one, the locations. I mean, automatically that's what you think is the diversity of locations. But then it's the people, too, the people that actually support the projects that are coming in and actually the ones that are here already making films, the crew, the cast, the support services, everything combines to work together with our incentive program to continue to bring film into the state.
Tonight is the movie premiere. How long ago was it shot? Do you recall?
Oh, I don't know.
Years, months?
You know, I remember being contacted for the permit process and then referring that to Ron, but gosh, Ron's been gone for quite a while now, so we're anxiously waiting to see the film today. I think, you know, I understand there's some great stars in this film, but we think one of the greatest stars is Antelope Island State Park.
Antelope Island State Parks. How was it to work with these folks? Was it a good time?
Yeah, I've worked with the director Tom Russell before, and he is like classic, great director, like very, very supportive. And if he feels like he's getting the shot that he wants, he will be your biggest fan. And then if you're not doing a great job, he's just the tender, like, hey, let's work on it, let's do it again, and but he'll do it and he'll move on quickly, or he'll stay on it for forever as long as you get a perfect shot.
So he's like, all in love, baby. Let's just make it happen again. Well, is that right?
He loves me. He loves me more than anybody that was probably in the movie. And you can ask him about it.
Well, I can understand that because I can feel the love right here, brother.
The teddy bear love on set, yeah.
So Jeremiah Johnson, one of my favorites. It was filmed here, right? So I want to ask you, do you hunt grizz?
With Will Gear.
Well, skin that one. I'll bring you another one. How's that?
That's right. Funny story there. Last summer, I spoke at the Sundance Institute, And I realized right when I walked in the door about to give my remarks that Robert Redford was going to be in the room when I was giving my speech. And my opening remarks were about the film Jeremiah Johnson. And after I got through telling my story about watching it as a 10-year-old, he came up to me afterwards with tears in his eyes and kind of said, told me the story of the making of Jeremiah Johnson, how difficult it was not only to make, but to actually distribute and get into the theaters.
As I understand it, there is a brand new cool movie that you can buy at all state parks right now about state parks. Is that right?
That's right. It's the 43 State Park Road Trip, which I believe you are a star, and the guy behind the camera is a star as well. And we just can't thank you enough for bringing all of the awareness to our state park system.
Oh, no, it's a lot of fun. So 43 state parks. Who knew? 43 state parks. Really, I thought maybe 10, 12, but 43.
We have 43 state parks, beautiful, from reservoirs up Bear Lake State Park down to the Four Corners region of Edge of the Cedar State Park Museum and everything in between.
Edge of the Cedar State Parks, where you can go in and participate in a real kiva, walk around, walk up and down the ladder, and see how those things worked in the past.
I had to grow a beard for this thing, and I've already got the goatee, but the beard was actually hard to get away with at work for a while because I did not look well kept for a while.
Well, and we can see that as we listen to you on the radio too.
No, you can feel the gross beard that I had. I actually but one of my great coworkers would pick the bugs out for me. It was wonderful.
Utah is a great place to film. Obviously, the vistas and the venues that exist here, but when I think of movie making, you think of Hollywood. So how does it all work? How does Hollywood come to Utah? Why don't we really... There's a lot of stories out there and a lot of things that we hear, but we don't see Johnny Depp on the street or anything like that like you would in Hollywood. How does it all work?
Well, you have to define what is Hollywood. Is Hollywood a city, or is it an industry? And it's an industry. It's a business, and it's the film business. And the film business is driven by dollars and cents. So in order to be competitive and have films to come to your area as opposed to going to other states and other countries, we have to be very competitive in not only our incentive program, but in the rates that are being paid. And of course, we want everybody to be paid, but we want to be competitive with those rates and not price ourselves out of the market. And we need to have a good stable of good, high-quality equipment for people to use when they come to the States. So there's a lot of different ways that Hollywood comes to Utah.
So Dina's with State Parks. Really a cool story about John Baptiste. What do you know about it?
I'm anxiously awaiting this movie to see, but it sounds like he was kind of a troubled person. I'm anxious to kind of see how this all works out.
So are you aware of other movies that have been filmed in Utah?
Quite a few films, and those that have been shot in state parks. We had Galaxy Quest out at Goblin Valley State Park.
So for those of you that don't remember, that was the Tim Allen flick with that guy with the goofy head and the stuff on the side.
That's right.
So did you have lunch again and again then after the shoot?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's how beards work.
Well, the craft services were good then, right?
Oh, no, yeah. You know what? I actually remember we had Navajo tacos on set. So that's real craft services, not just the Costco trail mix. It was a real food. That was from like a year ago. It was a memorable meal. Man, I remember it.
So it all sort of started and rolled with the John Ford stuff and John Wayne and stuff. And my dad sits there and watches that and says, hey, I'd like to go to that place sometime. Mm-hmm. Little does he know, it's right in his backyard, right?
Monument Valley, Moab. Yeah, sure, it was John Ford, John Wayne that put us on the map, but it was actually the Perry brothers at Perry Lodge down in Kanab and Harry Goulding in Monument Valley that reached out to Hollywood and said, hey, look at these pictures. You should come check this out. And then all of a sudden, Southern Utah became the look of the West. Everybody wanted to come and make Westerns there. And then the golden age, probably from the 40s to the 1960s or so, early 1960s, Westerns, mostly Westerns, were coming to the southern part of the state.
Thelma and Louise, one of those famous shots, was filmed out at Dead Horse Point State Park, as was Mission Impossible 2.
So that just broke my heart, the Thelma and Louise. Two hot chicks, one great-looking car, all plummet to the bottom of...
it would be Dead Horse Point, but down into Canyonlands National Park.
Wow, and they did. They plummeted right off of there. And Mission Impossible 2?
Yes.
Was it? It was filmed right there at Dead Horse Point, and that's where Tom Cruise is climbing up the mountain. Is that right?
Exactly.
So how is that safely done?
A lot of it was done with computers.
So Tom's really a sissy. Is that what you're saying?
I didn't say that.
So you shot the movie a year ago.
Yeah.
So shooting in Utah, now you're old hat at this by now. I mean, you're a celebrity and such, right? So how is it to shoot a movie in Utah versus all the other locations that you've been?
Well, because the movie is set in Utah, it's awesome. But also, it's real pretty. I mean, it's a Western, and that's Tom's thing, make it look beautiful. And other places I've shot before, not as pretty, and people just want to get it done and get out of there. Utah, we take our time and do it right.
As you know, all 3 High School Musical movies were shot here. This TV series Touched by an Angel was done here. National Treasure was shot here. So it opened up northern Utah as well, but it had to start somewhere, and it started with those guys and with John Wayne and John Ford.
Fascinating stuff. And so I want to know, when they come to Utah and there's movie stars and sets and all kinds of stuff, do you get to hang out, eat craft services with Johnny Depp? Come on.
Well, I can't say I hang out, but we do go visit the set, and we visit. Our policy is to make at least one visit to each set that's working in the state.
I think the point is the vistas and venues that are here in the state, just amazing things to see and do. Get out and see the amazing things that are here, because Hollywood has recognized them as among the most beautiful places in the world, really.
I agree, and I'm always amazed too. I talk to people all the time and tell them the greatest state parks, and I'll say, have you been out to Antelope Island State Park? And they'll say no, and I'm shocked. So if it's right here in our backyard, but it couldn't be more of a world away once you're out there. So get out and visit.
So you don't have to drive to North Dakota. You don't have to drive to Yellowstone. You can go right down in your own backyard, see some great buffalo, antelope, all kinds of things.
All kinds of things, and right in the middle of this Dead Sea. It's absolutely beautiful out there.
Thanks. I really appreciate it. It was great to see you. Thanks so much for all that you do for us.
Thank you. Thank you.
You don't always shoot in Utah, but when you do.
But when I do, I prefer. Where were we? We were in like Nephi or Scipio or something like that. I don't always shoot in Utah, but when I do, I prefer Scipio.
There you go. There you go.
We have a purpose for visiting the sets. Sometimes it's just for us to see how the producers are enjoying their experience in Utah, how they're liking the crew, how the locations are working for them, and so we can and it gives us a chance to talk to the crew working on the set. But then, you know, there's a lot of other different ways too that like important to us is to bring the legislators out to the set, bring the governor out to the set, so that they will continue to be supportive of what the Film Commission is doing to create economic development and job creation through the film industry.
I'm here with Kathy Porter, and as I understand, Kathy is related to the person that this story is about. Is that right, Kathy?
That's right. He's my great-great-grandfather.
So his name was Jean Baptiste, is that right?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about his background. Where was he from, and how did he end up in Utah?
Well, we don't know exactly his roots. We think that he was born in Venice, Italy, because we've actually found some baptismal records that had that. He ended up in Australia in the mining fields, where he joined the Mormon Church, and then he went with a bunch of people to Hawaii, and from there to California, and then went with a group into Utah about 1854.
I don't always shoot in Utah, but when I do, I prefer Davis County.
Oh, yes, that's what I'm talking about. Well, thanks so much. It's nice to meet you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. And so, just like any red carpet, when the people are walking down and they're enjoying the spotlight and stuff, right. I have to ask, who are you wearing tonight, man?
Big and Tall Shop, Adidas, with the Adidas high tops, and I don't know what else. This is Kenneth Cole, Costco or something. Yeah,
oh, so. Yeah, he went to the Costco to hook himself up tonight.
I'm wearing Kirkland's signature. So.
All right. Well, it's nice to meet you, man.
Absolutely.
Thanks again.
No,
Have a good night and good luck.
Thanks.
So nobody parties like the Utah Film Commission hanging out with Kira and Johnny Depp and the crew. Is that right?
Well, Johnny Depp will be in the state, right? He was here for Pirates of the Caribbean. Now he's coming back for Lone Ranger, which is great. And we're excited.
So Tonto. He's going to play Tonto.
Yes, he is.
It'll be fun to watch him play that. He's so diverse. It's kind of fun that the best of the best like to shoot in Utah.
Yeah, exactly. And it's, Jerry Bruckheimer, Gore Verbinski directing, kind of the same team that brought Pirates of the Caribbean. So it's kind of have that familiar feel to it, but a totally different spin on the Lone Ranger itself.
Kind of a fun, quirky Lone Ranger,
There
perhaps,
will be those elements, yes.
Can't wait to see that. So you're going to have to give us a lowdown when it goes down. Johnny Depp is at the mall. Okay, so just give me a call and we'll make it happen. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your number?
I'll give it to you after. Thanks a lot for joining us. We really appreciate it.
All right. Okay. Pleasure. Thank you.
You bet. Thanks.
Yeah.
In the census, in the 1860 census, it lists him as a common laborer. And then in our family history, they talk about him being working for the sexton as a grave digger, and then the newspaper reports from the grave robbing and all that came out soon after that. So that's what we know about him.
So we don't want to give away the plot of the movie and ruin it for everyone, but the film is called Redemption. Can you tell us just a little bit about why it's called Redemption?
I haven't seen the movie, and I don't know a lot about the plot, and so I'm curious about that myself.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're right here at the red carpet event. Brand new red carpet. You can smell it from here. And a awesome time to be at a real life movie premiere. We're waiting on the stars. They're going to pull up. So we're standing here watching the official group walking up, and they're missing the red carpet. The carpet's this way, and here they come.
Robin, come here.
Oh, it's Robin. It's Robin. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm with Harry Connection. He is a volunteer out on Antelope Island State Park. Tell us a little bit about the beauty of the park out there, Harry.
Well, I love it. My wife and I really discovered it just within the last couple of years. We lived here a long time, but we just discovered it a couple of years ago, and I love every minute of going out there.
One of the things that we researched is that there was no church trial for him, and it seemed a bit unusual or even harsh for yes, what he did was criminal, and there should have been some kind of action taken against him in a court of law. But church-wise, it just seemed to come down very hard on him. And so I'm kind of wondering about that redemption part myself.
So tell us your name and what's your relation is with the movie.
Hi, I'm David Stevens. I got to play Jean-Baptiste, convicted of robbing over 300 graves and I guess ultimately seeking redemption.
So did you make it? I guess that's the whole point, to watching the movie, right?
I don't know that I would say that the character survived the ordeal, but hopefully the lessons learned survive, become a reason for the existence in the first place.
People think it's just this big pile of rock, but there's beautiful animals. Depending on the time of year, there's beautiful flowers. There is greenery, and you can be isolated. You can take hikes. You can bike. It's just gorgeous. We love it.
So you signed up to be a volunteer. What's the process of doing that?
They have a volunteer office. You just contact the ranger station, and they can direct you to the volunteer office. And you can be a volunteer in the gift shop, on the trails, on horseback, on foot, on mountain bikes. You help with events. And it's great. It's a wonderful opportunity to give back to the community.
Interesting story. That's the reason to get out and see this film. Really an interesting part of Utah history, and it's such a pleasure to meet one of the family members that Utah history is written about. What else do you have to say about the movie and about your family history?
Well, I believe in the movie there is a woman who's his wife, and she is not my great-great-grandmother. She's someone I've never heard of. I don't even know if she's a real person. But very few people know that he was married, and they were only married for 3 months. And during that 3 months, she became pregnant, and the baby that was born is my great-great-grandmother. She had 11 children, so he has a huge posterity that not that many people know about.
Get out and see the movie. Really a great thing about Utah history and a fun thing to see. Tell us about your experience in Utah. What did you think?
I enjoy Utah very much. I grew up here. I grew up in Taylorsville. It's really Taylorsville, Kearns, West Valley. It was right in the corner that nobody really could determine where we were. And I got to live in Los Angeles for quite a few years, and then had a family. Decided to have a family and wanted to raise them here in Utah, around grandmas and grandpas and cousins. So to get to come back to raise a family and also to get to work with the wonderful filmmakers here was a real treat.
It's fun to hang out with Harry. Now my next interviews are going to be with Tom and Dick, so I can say that I hung out with Tom, Dick, and Harry.
The joke's on me, right?
No. Anyway, it's great to be with you. I think the Antelope Island State Park, it's a beautiful place to experience Great Salt Lake, see the amazing things that are out there, buffalo, wildlife, all sorts of things to see and do.
Can I correct you?
Yeah.
They are bison. They're not buffalo.
Bison, that's right. American bison.
That's right.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thanks so much, Bill. We appreciate it. It's been a great evening this evening. Now off to look for Tom and Dick.
See you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with John, Commissioner John. He is the film commissioner of Davis County. Is that sort of like Commissioner Gordon?
Without all the bat signals into the sky. I
come on.
shot a buffalo up into the sky.
I've seen your closet. I know something's hanging.
Let's talk about what's in my closet.
Okay. We won't talk about what's in your closet. Okay, so John, in all of the seriousness, we had a movie that was filmed right here in Davis County. Is that right?
We did, yeah. It's called Redemption. It's the story of a true frontier story of Jean-Baptiste, who did some unspeakable things, so bad they didn't even want to put him in jail, so they banished him to the worst place they could think of at the time, which was Antelope Island.
Tell us maybe something that you learned from the experience of shooting right here in Utah and Antelope Island.
I don't know that I could say I learned it. I think it's something that I already knew, but that the filmmaking community here is as dedicated and wonderful as I said, as dedicated as I think it's maybe even more dedicated than some of the big cities, because it's a real treat when we get to do it. You know, it's an exceptionally talented group of filmmakers, but also when we get the chance to do it, I think it gets a little bit extra heart than maybe you might find in a clock in, clock out society that makes them all the time, that gets the chance to do it all the time.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with the beautiful lady crowd of the evening. And so we're talking about films that were made in Utah. And one of my favorites, Mission Impossible. Did you guys like Mission Impossible?
Incredible.
Incredible?
Yeah. Great scenery.
Okay.
This latest one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wonderful.
Great Mission Impossible stuff. So, okay, I need you to be the choir for the Mission Impossible theme song. Okay. So you remember how that goes? Dun, 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 dun. Okay, who's gonna do that?
I'll do
Is that you? Okay, you ready? Ready? Are you ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3. The worst place they could think of at the time, and now it's an oasis.
It is, and so that's nice to see that transformation. Now you can drive out to it. There's buffalo. There's a lot of fun things you can do. But at the time, you got to remember it was in the middle of an island. Most people back then couldn't swim, so you were pretty stranded.
So where did this story come from? Did they find it in the court records, or what did they find?
Actually, it's been part of Utah history for quite a while, and as I understand it, the writer and the director of the movie was always kind of interested in it, and he was looking for a story that had some moral underpinnings to it, and so he kind of researched and found this story, and then just decided to go with it and turned it into a full-length movie, whereas before it had just been some small segments of journal entries and things like that.
As an actor, I've always wondered, when you're trying to play a character, how do you get there in your mind? How do you get to where the director wants you to be, and also your portrayal of the character as well?
All great questions. I think the first thing you have to do is decide what parts of yourself are the same or at least similar to the character that you're playing, and make sure that you use that you already know and have known for your entire life, and let that be part of who it is. And then you add and subtract the different details that may or may not be who you are. Jean-Baptiste just happened to be a guy who in the beginning found a way to provide for his family and digging up graves and taking their clothes and selling them to provide for his family was why he did it.
Come on, we're not getting hired by... Now that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about right there. I think that Hollywood's going to be calling, Barbara. That's what I think.
I'm not holding my breath, all right?
So there's a lot of movies filmed in Utah, and a lot of people don't know that. As a matter of fact, 3 of my favorite, Troll 1, Troll 2, and Troll 3. What do you have to say about those movies?
Well, I think we can do better than that. Yeah, we've actually got movies going all the way back to the very beginning of movie history, filmed out in the southern part of the state, but they've been coming to the northern part of the state since the 1920s. One of the very last silent movies was filmed on Antelope Island, and this is in the 1920s, remember, but the budget was almost $900,000 in 1920. That was a big budget movie back then, and they filmed it right on Antelope Island.
Anybody that wants to judge another human being for their flaws and their sins and their shortcomings, that's really usually not in the heart. It wasn't in the heart and mind the way I believe Jean-Baptiste, the person that I think he was. I didn't ever play him or believe that he was somebody who was doing that because he was an evil, horrible person. He just was trying to do something with the situation presented to him to make the best of what he had, and ultimately that was a real big problem.
So what other films you like that were filmed right here in Utah? Barbara?
Oh, gosh, okay. The movie, I'm not good about remembering titles, so you can help me, Chris Dallin.
Okay. I'll help
you.
The
movie about
Troll 2. Troll 2.
No, the young boy.
The Sandlot.
Sandlot. I love the Sandlot movie.
Right, Bountiful.
Fabulous movie.
Absolutely.
That's probably my favorite.
Okay.
Oh, the ones that jumped off the cliff.
Thelma and Louise.
Thelma and Louise.
Loved it.
It was just because it was Brad Pitt with his shirt off. Come on.
That's true. I'd jump off a cliff for that, too. You bet.
As I understand, there's also commercials and ads and other things filmed here as well.
Yeah, as the film commissioner, my job is to help anybody who's shooting either a still life photography, commercial ads, TV projects. We've worked on several of those, and then also on big full-length movies like this.
It's fascinating to watch all of this come down. Now, we have a set, well, we used to have a set, the jail that was in Farmington, The Crow was filmed there, is that right?
Yeah, that was actually a pretty popular set, and people came a lot to use it, and I've actually had 3 phone calls since we've torn it down asking to use it, and I have to tell them, unfortunately, we don't have that set for them to use anymore, and it was, people liked using it. It was very friendly, and it looked just like what they wanted the jail to look like.
One of my favorite comments that was one of the message that was the most profound was, "Don't judge me because my sins are different than yours." You know, and I really thought that was a real precious way to remind everybody that we all are seeking a certain level of perfection, or to be good human beings, and don't turn and look over your shoulder at someone else because you can see or visualize their problems when yours may be more hidden. We all have to be accepting of each other and embrace, each other as flawed human beings, and that's really what this film, to me, is about.
So, some great advice from the star, multifaceted, multi-layered film. Get out and see it. I think it's going to be a great thing, not only to see Utah, but some good advice for life. Thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, you bet.
All right. Enjoy.
Good luck tonight.
All right.
And congratulations. You bet. Do you remember any films from Utah?
Utah, not necessarily Davis County, but all the westerns that were made down in southern Utah. Indiana Jones. Some of those were just really remarkable for the scenery.
Absolutely. I love the Indiana Jones series as well. Now, that one that I remember in Utah the most, that was Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, right? As well as the most recent one. Both filmed in Utah, correct?
If you say so, because I know you've done a lot of research, Chris Dallin. When they were scouts or whatever, and they were riding their horses out from some of the scenery down south. Do you remember? I think it was last week.
Yeah, and River Phoenix had some stuff, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. I watched on St. Patrick's Day this Disney film that was filmed right in Lagoon. Are there a lot of things filmed there?
To my knowledge, I don't know a lot of different things that have been filmed there in terms of big motion pictures, but I know a lot of commercials have been shot there, and small parts of movies have been filmed in Davis County as well as at Lagoon.
Well, I think what's cool is you can go out and see some of the best movies ever made, and they were made right here in Davis County.
Yep. Yeah. We're part of the whole state, and Utah as a whole has become just a mecca for Hollywood to come here because we're pretty. Matter of fact, Antelope Island has doubled as ancient Rome in a movie. So that's the nice thing about Utah is you can film everything from summer scenes to winter scenes to metropolitan scenes to the Old West.
So we're here with one of the other stars. Tell us who you are and who you played in the movie.
I'm John Freeman, and I play Henry Heath, Sheriff Henry Heath.
So you're the guy that we talked to Alex earlier. Was he the younger version of you?
There is a younger version of me in the film. Yeah, all right. Yeah. Well, no, wait, no. He would have been the younger version of the judge.
Oh, the judge.
My father. I don't know which one you had there. There is a flashback to my father, but not me.
And my
favorite movie.
Oh, my favorite's probably Jeremiah Johnson. So do you hunt grizz?
You know, that's just not something I've really hunted before yet. Maybe someday.
Well, I'll get you one, and then you can skin it, and I'll bring you another one after that. How's that?
I'm not holding my breath.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see what happens. Anything else you have to say about tonight? Tell us about what's going on tonight, Barbara.
Well, we, as the Davis Film Commission Office, are hosting along with a lot of other great partners like State Parks and Covenant, are hosting the first film premiere.
That makes a lot of sense because Antelope Island doesn't have any wires overhead. There's not a lot of planes going on out there.
Absolutely.
So there's some good things to see. So one of my favorite movies, filmed right here in Utah, Dumb and Dumber.
That's a great movie.
So John, you got to do your impression for me of the most annoying sound you've ever heard. Can you do that? You filmed in Utah. Tell us about your experience here.
Wow, how much time we got?
As much as you want.
For me, it was an amazing experience. It's my first feature film as an actor. I came down. I'm from Idaho. I came down and into Provo and sat there for 5 weeks with these stunning mountains. You know, it was May. The mountains were beautiful. The scenery was green and lush where we were. And then I stayed there, and they just brought in one actor after another to do scenes with me, and it was an incredible experience and education that an actor couldn't buy with any money, and I'm just really grateful for that opportunity. So it was a fantastic opportunity and learning experience for me.
We've invited a lot of who's in Davis County. We've got a lot of stars that are coming, producers, actors. We've even got the great-great-granddaughter of John Baptiste, who is a star in the movie tonight, as well as the great-great-grandson of Henry Heath, who is the sheriff, who shows compassion. So there's a real local tie. So anyway, we're real excited and looking forward to other great opportunities of more film happening in Davis County.
Well, that's pretty good. I think that I'll put Jim Carrey up. So we challenge you, Jim Carrey, to come and find Commissioner John and take him on for the most annoying sound you've ever heard. Come on over.
Thanks.
Were you ever out on Antelope Island at all? Or
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell us about that experience.
It's fascinating. What a place. I've driven by all the time. I've never before got to see the full expanse of the lake and had really no idea how large it was. So the Jim Bridger story of thinking he'd found the ocean finally made sense to me. From that, I don't advise swimming in the lake and swallowing.
Well, there's
water.
Monsters in there, I understand. Is that right?
I didn't find any. We waited around a lot looking for them. There's a scene where kind of a drowning scene, and we had to pretend to not be able to swim in the lake, and that was a real experience.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with the mayor of Farmington, Lagoon's mayor, if you will, Scott Harbison.
That's what Farmington's known for, Lagoon. That's exactly. But that's not all now.
Station Park as well.
Station Park, one cool place to visit. Now, as I understand, there's going to be a cool fountain going on in the next little while. Is that right?
That is going to be awesome. $2.5 million worth of waterworks. Now, you're a big Disneyland guy.
I am a Disneyland guy, that's right.
World of Colors, it's going to be a miniature version of that. So,
World of Color, put on your 3D glasses, come down to Farmington, hang out, spend some dough so the mayor can spend it. No, Farmington, a great place to go.
Exactly.
And here's the point. Again, Davis County, a lot of people say, I need to go see a film set somewhere else. I really want to experience it. The point is it all happens right here. And there's a lot of cool things to see and do. Antelope Island, The Sandlot, Lagoon has a lot of movies filmed there. And so take a minute, find out what's filmed in your own backyard, and get out there and see it.
Try not to swallow Salt Lake water.
Pretty nasty stuff, I understand.
Nasty stuff.
But it's hard to drown in the Great Salt Lake, I understand.
Well, he managed to pull it off. If you panic and get things wrong, you can drown in a pail of water.
Yeah, that's what I understand. That's what my science teacher said.
Yeah. Maybe it didn't help that I was standing on it.
And that makes sense, too. I am with Mark Livingston. Now, Mark is the coolest cat tonight. What are you drinking?
Lemonade.
So, Mark doesn't always drink lemonade, but when he does...
Yeah. But when I do, it's good lemonade.
So stay thirsty, my friends.
Well, we didn't bring the mini bottles with us, but we probably should have.
Well, we are in Utah after all, Mark.
Well, I know, but how can you help that?
Well, that's true. So I've got to ask you, Joan Rivers and others are walking around asking people who they're wearing. So what are you wearing tonight?
Well, tonight I have on I want you to show, I've got my badge on. But then on top of that...
So he's got some bling. He's got some bling going.
Right here. That's who I am, American Patriot. I would have a little red, white, and blue on, but I forgot my red shirt. But I'm doing good.
And you can buy it in Farmington, right at Farmington Station. Come on down. Great deals. Farmington Station, Farmington Mayor.
We got it all.
And that's it. Farmington, we've got it all. Is that right under the logo?
That's the byline right there.
We got it all. Utah's fun place, Farmington. Come down and visit us.
You bet. We'll see you in Farmington.
Tell us maybe one thing that you learned about Jean-Baptiste and the filming process.
But spoiler alerts. I don't know if I want to give away.
Don't spoil
I think what you learn is that, or what I learned and my character learned is wisdom can come from unexpected places. Yeah.
That's some good wisdom, a reason to get out and see the movie. Great actors, multifaceted. It's like an onion, really.
I've been around it for 2 years now, and I'm still uncovering thoughts and ideas and little bits of knowledge. It's a limitless onion.
Get out and see it. Great looking people, awesome stuff. Redemption in theaters now. Okay, thanks so much. Nice to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Speaking of Utah, a film made right here in Davis County, Utah. Yeah. You came out to the premiere.
I did.
You're wearing your fancy shirt, your duds. You're walking around with Rhinestones and Diamonds.
Davis Area Convention and Visitors Bureau.
There you go. And you're on the board, as I understand.
I'm flying the colors. Yeah.
That's great. So tell me about the movie. What do you know about it?
Well, I grew up knowing the story about Jean-Baptiste, so I grew up hearing the story, so now I want to see it on the big screen, I guess, So
what's the premise? What happened?
Well, the premise is that I guess he was a grave robber, and that I was always told that they put him out to Fremont Island, but I guess he went out to Antelope Island first, and then they put him out to Fremont Island. So it'll be interesting to get the real story.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with the beauty and the brains of the film Redemption, and it's great to be with them. Tell us a little bit about who you played and what your experience was in Utah.
I love Utah. I'm a resident, lived here all my life. Refused to leave. But the film was just an amazing project to work on. The character of Lucille is sort of someone that I would have idolized as a kid. She sort of represents the moral conscience of the movie, forgiveness, redemption, working to help people that need you.
Danny McConkey. Danny is the chair of the Convention and Visitors Bureau. Now, what that is we encourage people to come in, stay in a hotel, eat in a restaurant, because that really makes the world go round. Isn't that right?
That's right. Well, because Davis County is the center of the universe, and we encourage everybody to come here and experience the center of the universe, because you can't experience it anywhere else. Now, the truth of it is you just open your eyes at night and look out, and you can see the rest of the universe from here.
There you go. Think about that real hard at night. Now, we all know you grew up a long time ago, and I'm sure.
I don't think that I've grown up yet.
Okay, that's fair enough. So what exactly, who told you this stuff, and why was it such a big deal?
Well, you know, when you grow up in Utah, you take Utah history, and I think that's where I first heard the story.
Fourth grade, do you remember stuff from fourth grade, Mark?
No, fourth grade. You don't take Utah history in fourth grade.
Oh, you do, though.
No,
you do. Yes, you do. Okay, it's fourth grade now. So.
I can remember junior high and taking Utah history.
Oh, okay, that's fair enough.
But,
so,
you know, I mean, you know, in church we had it there too. And yes, I did go to church when I was a kid.
And tell us your name.
Taya.
Taya, what do you think about Mom being a real life movie star?
Sometimes it gets boring because I would have to sit on set at in the middle of the night.
Well, you know, there's a lot of kids your age that would die to have that opportunity to hang out with the most beautiful people in the world and some of the coolest things. Danny, you know a lot about Davis County. You were a commissioner for years and years. Tell us about how cool it is that we have an honest-to-goodness Hollywood movie filmed right here in good old Davis County.
You know, I through the years, the work that I used to do, I used to see movie film groups all the time in Moab and southern Utah while I was building highways. And I think it's extraordinary that we're finally getting our 10 seconds of fame with having a movie filmed here, and it's an honest-to-goodness true story, based on a true story. And I haven't been to a movie since George C. Scott was in Patton, so I'm not really a movie goer.
So you are old, Danny.
And so I'm really excited about this, because I ain't been in a show house for years.
So keep thirsty, my friends. Yep. Lemonade, Mark's Choice. We're here.
Electric lemonade.
I don't know what that means, but we'll go with it. Yeah. Anyway, great time right here in the Centerville, a real-life Hollywood movie premiere.
That's it.
Everyone's having a great time.
Cheers.
Did you learn anything in the process?
I learned how to hold the camera.
Well, you know what? We have the next Spielberg right here. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to be with you. Enjoy the film tonight. I'm here with Ron Taylor. Now, Ron was the manager of Antelope Island State Park when this occurred. Tell us the process about how this all went down, Ron.
Well, first of all, the producers came to us and asked for a filming permit to film on the island. Told us a little bit about what the project entailed and what the movie would be about. And I helped them through that process of getting their permit so that they could film on the island. And then helped them out with any logistics that we could to make sure that they had what they needed to make the final product.
I'm here with another one of the stars of the movie. Tell us who you are and who you played in the movie.
Okay, my name is Larry Thomas, and I played Josiah, who's basically, it was explained to me before I read for the movie that everybody in this movie has a redeeming quality of some sort except for my character.
So
he's pretty nasty.
As I understand it, there's a lot of movies that have been filmed right here in Utah.
Yes.
Do you remember any of them?
Well, the last movie crew that I mingled with in the same hotel I was in was when they filmed a new version of Cochise in Moab. And I was there for 3 months.
Right, and that was with Wes Udy.
Yeah.
Who played that, right?
That's right. And I don't know how they ever stayed with making that movie, because they partied till 2 a.m., slept till 4, got up, went back out in the desert to film every day. So on 2 hours of sleep, that crew would come and go, and there was hundreds of them. They had lots of support people, and it's a great movie, by the way.
So how many buffalo were injured in the process?
No animals, to my knowledge, were injured. We did have a great story, though, with a dead carp laying out on the lake bed.
A dead carp. And pardon me, I'm surprised that you didn't tell me that it was really a bison, not buffalo.
No, in fact, we told the producers, as they were walking out across the lake bed, you know, the carp come from the Jordan River, and then they get in the Great Salt Lake, and they can't survive, so they die, and then the wind washes them up, and we end up with them on the shore occasionally. Well, this was a fairly large carp, and as I'm walking the producers out, I mentioned to them, one of them saw it, and they said, "What in the world is that?"
It was a Salt Lake monster.
Well, no, I told them it was a sand trout.
Oh.
And I had him going for at least a half hour.
I got to tell you, and I can't help myself, and I hope that I don't get punched right here, but you have a little bit of the soup Nazi thing going for you.
Well, you know, it's funny because this character is nothing like that character, but they are both pretty mean.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So this guy is like, but he's mean more on a kind of a vile, like you don't want to touch him sort of way. Yeah.
Interesting. So you filmed here in Utah. What did you think?
Oh, well, I had a great time. I mean, from what I hear, I circumvented all the bugs and the troubles, but I just had a wonderful time filming here, and it's beautiful, and, you know, and it's a little chilly tonight, but I really had a great time on this film. Tom just marveled me as a director. I loved working with him, and all his ideas were fantastic. And I've seen the film once before already, so I'm really happy with what I'm seeing.
Davis County is the breadbasket of the state of Utah. It has the best topsoil, the thickest layer in the whole state, 2 feet. And in the early days, this is where all the food was grown for the inhabitants of the state of Utah. Now, the build-out of this population of our little community here is about 500,000, and that's 15 cities, wall-to-wall. We're the most urbanized state in the western United States, and Davis County is the most urbanized county in Utah. So we're famous, and we have Hill Air Force Base, and best of all, we have Antelope Island.
Absolutely. One cool place to visit. Thanks, Danny. Great to be with you tonight. Enjoy the movie.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.
Take care.
They were bringing people over and showing them the students from BYU. They were showing them, and they were saying, look at this sand trout. And it took them about a half an hour before they figured out that I was pulling their leg. And we had a great time with that and had a great time with the filming process.
So you haven't opened up the Great Salt Lake Charter fishing services yet, right?
Not yet.
But you're working on it.
That would be a good thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
So what else? So did you have to be with them, or how did it all work?
I had to check on them every day to make sure that they had the things that they would need, and if they needed to haul equipment in certain places, to make sure they could do that without any environmental problems or anything like that. But they were a great group to work with, and did everything we asked and complied with their agreement and did a great job.
Oh, that's great.
So we're excited about the movie.
Thank you very much for joining us. Ron Taylor, former manager of Antelope Island. Get out there and see it. Some cool stuff, and maybe you'll even see a sand trout or the Great Salt Lake Monster.
Exactly.
What I love about this movie is there's a certain track in the movie about people's pasts and how it affects who they've become. And I didn't really see that in the script that much. And when you watch the movie now, it's an overall thing throughout the movie. It's almost everybody has that situation. So I was so thrilled when I saw it and said, wow, it's got like a theme and a moral and, everything a Western has to be.
Well, it sounds like such a great movie and something that everyone in Utah should watch and beyond.
And beyond.
Take the opportunity to go and see it. It's great to be with Josiah and the Soup Nazi, too, by the way. Yeah, it's great to be with you tonight. We're on our way in to see it. It's fun to be on the red carpet, see some great stars. But the point is, Utah is a great place to be, a great place to live. Get out and see what's in your own backyard. Have a good night.